Oh, Pearson gets into the 95 of Folks. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona, and away we go for the first time. Nicholas Morcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Dom's, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now, as we've got three wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
Smooth stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
Tonight's sim racing event brought to you by the Detroit Region Sports Car Club of America. With over 1,400 members, there is no shortage of knowledge, history, and trailblazing ideas like this sim league. Thank you, participants and spectators, for being part of the augmentation and evolution of the region. The DRSCCA, of course, goes beyond the virtual realm. And 2024, they will be hosting over 40 events over 60 days that can get you behind the wheel or so close that it will blow your hair back. The gamut of behind-the-wheel events includes road racing, road rally, rallycross, autocross, and a competition driving school. Support for the Detroit Grand Prix, Formula, SAE, and Street Survival are also amazing opportunities to help sculpt future and professional drivers. Check out DRSCCA.org for information. Superlap. Located on the world-renowned Woodward Avenue of Berkeley, Michigan, Superlap is a sim drive studio, a space to meet and compete. With professional-grade racing simulators, they are a premier racing and drive experience venue. They will help you achieve your motorsports goals with education, practice, and training. Maybe you're familiar with the world's most famous international Formula One series? Well, their best driver is a proponent of sim training and racing. If Max Verstappen uses this sim, shouldn't you? You can race and practice against an AI roster, go head-to-head with other humans, or both. They also offer league play like the DRSCCA League. Check them out, superlap.world, for details, or visit them this coming Tuesday, and you can join them for their open house if you're a DRSCCA member. That's going to be April 23rd, and again, superlap.world for details. Waterford Hills Road Racing, Metro Detroit's only permanent sanctioned road course. Waterford Hills, located in Clarkston, Michigan, hosts a 6-weekend race series, competition driving school, and 9 public open track days. The track is hot from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on these event days and is open to the public. A nominal $5 entry fee is all it takes to get you close to the action. Check out our friends, waterfordhills.com, for details. Thank you to the Michigan Turn Marshals for their support as well. If you want to get close to the action, be sure to check out MichiganTurnMarshals.org. They can train you to support races like the Detroit Grand Prix. Finally, a special thanks to all volunteers in the Detroit region and Waterford Hills. Without them, none of this would be possible. Welcome back, race fans, to the Detroit SCCA Sim Series, bridging the gap between virtual and trackside racing. Today, we're at the world-famous Wisconsin track, Road America, for today's 30-minute feature event with our Spec Miata drivers. As always, I'm your host, James Eastspring, the Action 1080p 60 frames a second on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. And right now, qualifying is underway here. And let us know as well where you're from, who you're cheering on, as drivers will very often have this broadcast pulled up on a separate monitor or device. If they don't, they just about always go back and watch this thing over. Elliot Budzinski currently in the top spot in that number 91 machine, but we have a very busy field. 11 drivers have put down times thus far. Keep an eye out on Russell Soto The number 50, he's qualified second, but we've got a few drivers that haven't qualified yet. We're expecting big things from Andrew Gross, the number 69, yet to put down a time. You also have Lynn, the number 30 machine. He's been extremely fast every time he's out on track. Corey Gordonier, Todd Golubowski, all out on track. Excuse me. We talked about Andrew Gross. He has an off track there in the 69. Came into tonight not quite familiar with the Wisconsin racetrack, but is looking to pick up time quickly. Luckily, with this open qualifying as well as the 30-minute feature, you've got plenty of time to figure stuff out. And the DRSCCA community also hosts weekly practices on Monday and Wednesday nights for these drivers. So everybody ample opportunity to get some good seat time. And I'm going to try and pan the camera around here a little bit. Looks like Michael Schmidt takes an alternative line. Trying to see who's close out on track. Look at this. Russell Soto might be trying to pick off the draft of some drivers in front of him here. I think that may be Dave Bauer right behind the number 7 machine. No, it's the 877 of Bryce Salmon. Salmon's currently 3rd in qualifying. And that is Budzinski at the front here. So Soto's going to try and pick up a big draft from the current pole setter, as we've got a little bit less than 10 minutes left to go here in qualifying. Budzinski hopped out of the draft there after clicking off at 232.39, so not improving on his qualifying. Soto at 235.46. So let's see. David Bauer comes down pit road, the number 7. Let's see, can Soto, with some clean air on the hood of the number 50 machine, try and make something happen here? Well, I guess not quite clean air. I think that's Bryce Salmon still in front of him. No, trying to see who that is. Maybe Justin Hilly, I think, in the 48. Is going to lead Soto down the field here. Now, nobody's going to be really battling here in qualifying. Everybody's trying to improve and put down their best lap time. And drivers also have to be mindful of no bump drafting during qualifying. Any car-to-car incident that's recorded by iRacing will invalidate the lap time. That also goes for any off-tracks as well. If you dip too much of a tire, the whole lap time thrown out the window. And it's when I say 2.5 minute lap time, that is a long time to get pace built back up. So Budzinski in that top spot, not quite 2 whole seconds faster than anybody else out on the raceway here in Wisconsin. Soto hops out of line besides Hilly. Are they going to do a little bit of leapfrog here, I wonder, to try and improve on their times, working together? Going to be interesting. Soto in second, Hilly in third here in qualifying, but Soto's going to go off track there. I think that was Soto. So the lap time is going to be invalidated for that number 50 machine. Let's see what Justin Hilly can put down. Might be in a good spot here to dethrone Soto, if not Budzinski. And no, Hilly pulls over, letting the field by. So nobody in this pack is going to improve on their qualifying time. Jonathan Edwards, the number 13 machine, backed by Reese. He's going to roll out on track to see if he can improve on his 14th place qualifying position. We have 15 drivers have put down time so far. It looks like Edwards is going to wait. Maybe for a draft partner. Andrew Gross out on track, the number 69 student driver. Christopher Murray, the number 29, he's going to move up into 5th. Still have 7 drivers who have not qualified. So we're going to have 22 racers here tonight at Wisconsin. Right now, Jacob Moed, the number 28, the bright green mean machine. He's in that top 10 spot, trying to improve a little bit. Ahead of him in qualifying, Richard Scheib, the number 79, hold on to the 9th place position. Schmidt and Scheib down pit road, as well as Edwards, who's still waiting for a draft partner. I'm thinking that maybe Schmidt ahead of Moed here. No, I'm not seeing Schmidt on the board. So can't quite get a good angle on that blue Miata. That's going to be the 906 as we get a good shot there. Stephen Kahn, he's running 7th in qualifying. With Murray right behind, using all the draft he can. Budzinski still in the top spot here in qualifying. And we are officially past the halfway mark of this qualifying session. Well past it now. 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes left to go. Budzinski and Soto are down pit road. Oh, if they're going to have time to put down another lap, it's going to be tough here. Soto holding on to 2nd. Hilly staying out on track. Just clicked off his fastest lap, a 2:33.22. That is not going to be enough to dethrone the top 2. Let's see who might have a chance here to make something happen. Oh, it still holds onto the top 10 position. Is if drivers are not currently out on track, at least on their out lap, that means their qualifying session is just about done here. Now, interesting. Looks like Soto's going to go back out on track. Maybe he'll have enough time here. I'm not sure what the rules are. Maybe if you're out on track when the time limit counts, you'll be good to go. Stephen Kahn at the bottom of the hill misses the mark ever so slightly. Murray's going to have a little bit of clean track. It looks like he's swerving there a little bit. That's the 51 of David Moreno. Has not put down a qualifying time yet, but we will take every driver to the feature event that shows up here today. So thankfully, no cutoff for the field. Now, unfortunately, David Grzinski, the number 75, was having some sort of hardware issues at the tail end of practice. What a wild ride that is. That was Golubuski, I think, taking a wild ride. Moreno gets his first lap down. That's going to be good enough for P15 here. So he is on the board. So right now, 2 drivers out on track who have not put down times. Gross and Golubuski. Now, Lynn, that number 30 machine, hasn't turned a lap here. I'm hoping that dinner time is not going to interrupt his racing shenanigans, as I want to check back in on Russell Soto as well. Currently on his out lap. I'm not sure if he's going to have time here to get another one on the board. There's Andrew Gross. He's going to put down a time good enough for P17. Stephen Kahn's coming down pit road. Christopher Murray, David Bauer, Ryan Golf moving up the standings. Looks like a big lift here. Soto trying something. Soto just putting along in that number 50 machine. Maybe waiting for some clean track to start the final lap here in qualifying. A lot of strategy in play when it comes to open qualifying sessions. Soto hopping out of the way for drivers on the flying lap. I'm curious to see if Soto can start this lap, if he'll be able to finish it. It looks like he's having a nice Thursday cruise right now. Soto didn't seem hard in the throttle on that final section of track. So we will throw the checkered flag here in qualifying. So this will be the final lap for the drivers. Is Soto going to try and pull something off there? No, it's going to be invalidated. David Bauer throws it away through turn 2, collects Soto. So if Soto had anything left in the back pocket, that is going to be it for him. Soto is going to have to settle for a second at best here in quali. There's Christensen, qualified P19. Trying to improve on a 236.95. And he does so at 235.46, so finding some more pace there. As racers have a little bit of fun out on track at the end of qualifying. That's one of the good things about iRacing. You don't have to pay for any of the damages done here today. Andrew Gross, a fan favorite, trying to improve on a P18 here. Golubuski gets on the board in the 006 machine. Gross sets his fastest lap, a 235.855. That'll move him up to P17. And I think it's going to be Tom Salmon, Richard Scheib, and William Lamb, the last few drivers out on track here in qualifying. Scheib currently qualified 7th with a 234.09. So let's see as Scheib, charges up the hill for the final time. Does he improve on that 234.09? It does not look like he does. So that's going to end the qualifying session. Don't go anywhere. We're going to run a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with a special guest here at the DRSCCA. Welcome back, race fans. We told you it'd be a quick commercial break as qualifying has ended and we are getting ready to enter our warm-up session. But I've got special guest Scott Chaikin. Did I say that right, Scott?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Well, Scott, welcome to the broadcast booth. Tell us where you're from, what you're doing here tonight, and what your background is in the real world as well.
Well, I've from the East Coast originally, but I've been out here in Detroit for over 35 years. Automotive industry, like a lot of other folks here. I'm a SCCA steward and the chief steward at Waterford Hills, and have been drawn into the simulation world with you guys.
Well, glad we could drag you into it here. Now, Scott, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here from me as a broadcaster, which I'm a huge fan from. But I guess, first of all, how did you get into the real world aspect of race car driving?
Well, I mean, from when I was a kid, and I won't name the magazines I read because that'll date me. But Formula One fan from teenage years. I knew what I wanted to be. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I am a frustrated race engineer. I wish I could have done more with that. I am fascinated by the amount of data that is available in the vehicle performance, and we have it in this simulation platform as well. And I know a number of the drivers out there, make some use of it. We have limited ability to tweak these cars, but that doesn't mean we don't have to sit by and not understand the vehicle dynamics. So I knew that I wanted to be in racing for all of my life, and I had the opportunity to do that out here. I started with open wheel Formula Continental, and I stopped driving about 10 years ago in vintage circuit, and I had an old Lotus 7 Series 1.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun with it. So I'm kind of giving back, and I found this to be a great way of getting back close to the action and have a meaningful presence. Hopefully.
Yeah, Scott, this seems like an industry in the world of racing I don't think any of us ever fully get out of. I mean, I have a racing background. Now I'm a broadcaster. I've done race control as well, but it seems like once this kind of gets you a part of its life, you're here forever.
Oh yeah, it's hydraulic fluid in your veins for sure.
Now, with your engineering background, what do you think about the data that's kind of thrown our way, even from a race control perspective during this race? I mean, all of this is available to real-world drivers, but it seems like much less of a paywall here on the sim where you can get invaluable data and, like you said, even though it's a fixed setup, understand that the perimeters you have and what you're playing with.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anybody can look at their segmented lap data and think that they're doing well in one segment of the circuit, and then realize by looking at the data that they've actually been sacrificing several other corners, so to speak, to get that one segment speed. So it's just I would encourage everybody to try to go. I think it's a Control I or something like that, and start to gather your data. And there's lots of applications. I like the AIM product, not to pitch anybody's particular, but that's what I kind of got stuck on. And it's just phenomenal what you can learn, figure out where you're losing it, where you're braking too soon, where you're really not making available speed up in particular segments. So,
yeah.
I think there's a lot of jobs out there. If you look at, for data acquisition and, race dynamic data acquisition, that's a significant growth area in the racing business.
Now, Scott, I know you serve as our race controller, the eye in the sky, Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Have you had a chance to turn many laps in sim and get to play a little bit?
Yeah, I have early on, but some of you already know this. I've been trying to do it with a SciTech joystick from my old flight simulator days. So I don't really have a good rig far from it. Although I got to say that with a joystick throttle control, I have with 3 fingers, I have everything: upshift, downshift, throttle speed, brake. You know, I've got it all in one hand, so I can have a nice cold one in the other.
Yeah, a nice fresca is what we call it up here in the broadcast booth.
Yeah.
So,
However, it doesn't really work out that well.
yeah. Well, now, Scott, what's your perspective? What's your thoughts of the real world drivers we see running Tuesday, Thursday nights? Are they running cleaner than you would expect for real world drivers? Would you expect more aggressive out of these guys since they're in a sim with a little bit less consequences? Or what's your thoughts on them?
Well, I got to say, overall, I'm impressed, and there's a lot of them that are drivers, so they're knowing. We've got a bunch of people in driver school coming up, actually. What the platform is doing is logging, you know, when they go off. Okay, so I got 2 wheels off, I got 4 wheels off, I got spin, and you know, they're getting dinged point wise, things like that. What the system is not really doing, though, is paying attention to etiquette. You know, rules of the road that would suggest I'm going into a corner. Who's got the line? Who's got you know, advantage going into a turn? When do you have to relinquish the line? You know, when have you lost that ability to claim the line? So those kinds of things that are outlined in, I'll give a little plug to the SCCA GCR, the Appendix P, you know, which basically describes when you own the line, when you don't own the line, when you are set up for a good pass, when you are not. You know, we always say the basic rule of the road is the driver that is overtaking has the responsibility to complete that well. That doesn't mean he has line. It doesn't mean he has the line. Not at all. And so I'll be honest, we've got a lot we're trying to work up. Where do we draw the line? Where do we add on to what the system platform is watching? Because we're sponsored, you know, co-sponsoring it, the SCCA. We don't want to call this a video game. We are adamant about that. We're calling it a race simulation. Well, that means that we have to understand, you know, basic rules of the road.
Yeah, exactly. You still want to drive like a racer, even though it's a virtual simulator and you don't have to fix it afterwards.
Absolutely, absolutely. So on the overall, I think that the skills are incredible. Seat reps are what gain that experience. We have, you know, a saying we go by, you know, good judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from poor judgment.
Yes.
So, you know, these repetitions are necessary, but you know, you got to be careful. You can learn how to do things wrong in a heartbeat. And it could take you 1,000 reps to unlearn what you just did.
Yes, sir. Perfect practice equals perfect. Yeah. I'm with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, and Scott, I've got to give these guys credit. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was just saying, I've got to give these drivers credit too. I mean, I've called hundreds, if not 1,000 virtual races, and I've got to say, with the background for the DRSCCA guys coming out Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's a lot more what I would consider proper racecraft that we're seeing. Drivers that are treating it as a proper sim, treating it as if it's their own car, and if they do put themselves in the vortex of danger, driving with the mindset that they would still have to pay for the repairs. And it's led to some of the best racing I've called on the sim platform.
Oh, I bet. You know, this is serious business. The FIA, SCCA, we all are in it. We are all into the.
Well,
we're all into the E.
Yeah, a great cross-training platform, and that's the mission statement here for the Tuesday and Thursday night series, bridging that gap between the real world and the sim. And Scott, I think you and I have the same mindset. We could sit here and talk for another hour, I think, very easily, but I know you've got to get ready to run race control, and I'm halfway run a booth up here. But before I let you get ready, who do you want to give a shout to that's been helping you out all these years, or you just want to give a platform to it? It's all your show right now.
Well, most of these guys won't know the chief steward who passed away last year at Waterford Hills. So, you know, great mentor. So in real life, the stewarding that I've been able to learn from the SCCA Great Lakes Division. Certainly here in the Detroit region, working with Alex Del Torre, you know, several others at Waterford Hills. Very, professional group, almost all of us up to our eyeballs in the automotive industry, and it's no better place to be.
Well, awesome, Scott. Thank you so much. I hope you have a boring, uneventful time as race control here tonight, and hope everything goes your way. And thank you so much for your time, man. We'll be talking more in the future.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
See you later. All right, bye-bye.
That was Scott Chaikin joining us up here in the broadcast booth for a brief intermission. He is serving as our race control tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the action as we get ready the DRSCCA feature event. Let's run through your starting grid here tonight. On pole, Elliot Budzinski, the 91. Russell Soto starting second. Justin Hilly starting third. Bryce Salmon starting fourth. Christopher Murray starts fifth. David Bauer starting sixth. Richard Scheib starting seventh. Michael Schmidt starts eighth. Ryan Goff starting ninth. Stephen Kahn starting 10th. We got Jacob Mowat starting 11th. Corey Gordonier starting 12th. Let's cycle it on back to Mr. Erickson Alano starting 13th. Eric Christensen starting 14th. Tom Salmon starting 15th. David Moreno starts 16th. Andrew Gross starting 17th. William Lamb starting 18th. Jonathan Edwards starts 19th. Todd Golubuski starting 20th. We've got Lynn in the number 30 machine starting 21st. There's Scott Chaikin. He won't be starting the number 21, but he's here, the eye in the sky, showing in that 22nd position. And let's see, I take it back. David Grzinski got the hardware fix. He's going to make it out on track in the 75. There we go. Grzinski is rolling. Good to see him out on track. He might be in the eligible running for most improved here this season, as he has gone full swing into the sim racing life. And it's going to be a long lap of pacing here at Road America. While we're on the warm-up lap, the formation lap, let us know for the fans out there, who you cheering on? What's your odds-on favorite to pick up a win here tonight? Now on the Tuesday night series, our Spec Ford racers of the DRSCCA Virtual Series put on a fantastic show. It was a shootout all the way till the end of that 30-minute feature. I am hoping for more of the same, and as you heard us tell Race Control, hopefully he has a boring, uneventful evening where he has nothing to do. That would be the perfect night for a Race Control each and every night. We've got a half lap left to go here behind our iRacing safety car. While we have another moment, I want to thank everybody from the Detroit Region Sports Car Club of America, DRSCCA.org. Want to give a shout out to the guys at Super Lap, the Sim Studio. Check out their open house Tuesday night, and superlap.world for details. Also, our friends over at the Waterford Hills Road Racing, Metro Detroit's only permanent sanctioned road course. They're putting on a ton of cool events this year, and you can check them out at waterfordhills.com. And of course, our friends, the Michigan Turn Marshals, for their support, michiganturnmarshals.org. Getting ready for our iRacing safety car to come off pit road as our drivers exit Canada Corner here at Road America, the extremely lengthy raceway here in Wisconsin. That is Budzinski and Soto on the front row here. Safety car is going to dive down pit road. Waiting for Barney, our flagman, to wave the green. And we are green flag racing here at the DRSCCA Virtual Sim Series every Thursday night. And this is going to be a very busy turn one. Get the cameras, ladies and gentlemen, get them ready. As I already see some drivers bobbing and weaving there. That's David Bauer, the Barbie back number 7, trying to make a lunge as he sits in 7th. Looks like so far so good through turn 1. I'm impressed that we got through that nice and clean, a testament to how good these drivers are. What a beautiful shot there, ladies and gentlemen, here at Road America. A massive fleet of Miatas charging down the straight into turn 5. Now, on the Spec Forts Tuesday night, we had about a 4 or 5 driver breakaway. Right now, everybody lining up with a draft partner, staying single file, charging down the hill. Now, that is another big incident spot we've seen in the past, but it looks like the field's going to get through nice and tidy. We saw a couple off tracks there. And there is Dave Grzinski. Looks like Todd Golubuski has some sort of issue. Here comes the kink as drivers made their way out of the carousel coming up here, the next right-hander. Budzinski still out front. Soto pacing behind the number 91. I would imagine a lot of these top drivers are going to stay single file, trying to break the draft of those behind them. Soto and Budzinski linked up nose to tail. We got a couple off tracks. I think that was David Bauer cutting the grass in the Barbie-backed Miata. And I think Bauer might have had a little bit of a slowdown there as there goes Richard Scheib making his way through. And you can hear some tires screaming in protest as Richard Scheib flat tracks it off in Canada Corner. He's going to lose a fistful of time here. Falling all the way back to 12th. You can see the drivers as Scheib tries to find a place to reinsert himself into line. We also had a crash report. It was Eric Christensen on that opening lap at the number 20. Let's see what happens. Sponsored by Reese's. No, excuse me. He's in the pink car there. Just loses the back end, and Canada, the rear end slaps around. The super lapped Miata, luckily not involved in any worse incident there. Now, looks like Hilly, Murray, and Salmon closing the gap up to Budzinski and Soto. And your top 5 is pulled about a second and a half over the rest of the field. Almost a mirror image of the type of racing we saw on Tuesday night for the virtual DRSCCA drivers. David Bauer, the number 7 machine, you can see him snapping the rear end around as he tries to hold on to it, dipping some tires in the grass. Soto giving a good shove there to Budzinski. A little bit of bump drafting. But the rest of the top 5 just pull right in nice and tidy, not having to hold too close to close the gap. Now, David Bauer, the number 7, seems to be closing as well. Has got it within a second of the top 5, so he's going to try and get that draft off of Bryce Salmon, rejoin this party up front, and I think just stay in line and be consistent. In the past, it's been kind of odd. Sometimes we see drivers in the top immediately start throwing jabs with 12 minutes into the race. Sometimes they wait till the final 5 minutes. William Lamb had some sort of moment in the 777. Does he get some help? Might just have. So Lamb will go towards the back here, falling back to 22nd. Now, if we go a little bit further back, there's a very heated battle for 8th there. Ryan Goff just ahead there of the number 51, David Moreno. He just made a move against Michael Schmidt. Jacob Moed, Lynn all in the fray here. Lynn is up 10 positions so far as there's hard contact there. Oh, and they're going to pile up some race car. That was Richard Scheib going the wrong way around. Stephen Kahn also tied up in that. Let's get a replay queued up. It looks like poor Scheib had no idea. There's the original contact. Oh, okay. The 51 was already out of shape there of David Moreno. And then things just kind of rapidly escalated. Michael Schmidt still holding on to 10th, being chased by Lynn's number 30. Bazinski still leads the race, but it was Justin Hill. He clicked off a 2:32.96. Going back up to the lead pack, David Bauer has joined the fray, sitting up in 7th. I'm keeping an eye on Justin Hilly, the number 48, the real world Miata racer. I think he's got a very good shot here. And really anybody inside the top 6. David Bauer in a good spot. He's just kind of hanging out in that number 7 machine at the tail end. These top 5 drivers has built up a 5-second gap to Mr. Ryan Goff, the number 5 machine. Goff kind of in no man's land here. He's 5 seconds back from the lead pack. He is 2 seconds up from David Moreno. And behind Moreno, a little bit of a party there in 9th, 10th, and 11th. You've got Moed, Lynn, Schmidt, all there. Andrew Gross holding on to a top 12. He's up 5 spots after taking a little while to get some momentum built up, but finally getting comfortable here at Road America. And the top of the leaderboard still charging up the start-finish line, nose to tail. Let's see if I can get an onboard here with David Bauer. He might have one of the best seats in the house as he's tucked in behind Bryce Salmon. Bauer just clicks off his fastest lap of the race, the fastest lap of the race, a 2:32.92. Oh, hard on the binders for David Bowers. It's a little bit of an accordion effect there into turn 1. Erickson Alano makes the pass against Andrew Gross in the battle for 12th. Lynn has moved up into a top 10 position, now up 12 positions, and tucked in behind David Moreno. Lynn has some momentum built up. You can see Jacob Moed and Michael Schmidt trying to follow suit. Oh, and we had a problem up front. Russell Soto finds himself in a very precarious position, falling back to 6th. Here comes Ryan Goff, going to make a move here. So that happened down the hill, I think. Let's see what happened to Soto. I can't tell if Soto lost it there, or if there was netcode between the two. Let's get another replay queued up. I think Soto just pinched the car off a little bit and threw it around. So now Soto is going to have an uphill battle with a little bit shy of 21 minutes to go. He is now 6.3 seconds back from what is now the top 5. This is going to be tough here at the Thursday night series. There is no scheduled pit stops. So it is just good old-fashioned throttle that's going to get you back up towards the front. Oh, no, it looked like Salmon might have missed the brake marker, pulled out of line a little bit there. Thankfully, nobody else getting collected. It looks like Salmon just went too deep on the brakes in the 877. Hilly and Bazinski linked up nose to tail. There's Christopher Murray in third. Looks like Bazinski's going to hold onto it here in turn 1. Soto is going to be aggressive here with Ryan Goff and Lynn in hot pursuit. If Soto and Lynn can get linked up here, it's still going to be tough with how big of an advantage the top 5 has. But if there's any 2 drivers out on track that can really lay down some lap times, that would be my wager. Now, we have lost Bryce Salmon in this foray, the number 877. He's lost the lead pack by a second. And it looks like we're getting a little bit racy up here up front. We got some drivers hopping out of line. Bauer and Murray seem to be content watching that. And with that kind of checkup and 3-4 wide, that has allowed a Salmon to close the gap a little bit here. Lynn trying to get around Goff, but Moreno and Lynn are going to go side by side. Moreno on the inside line. We got somebody off track. That was Ryan Goff. Able to hold on to it. Nobody else involved. Well done. Lynn makes his way nice and clean around Moreno. Now Soto's 1.3 seconds up from Lynn. I'm looking to see if those 2 get linked up now. Bazinski up front has pulled about a 0.6 of a second gap. Let's watch how quickly the rest of the top 5 reels them back in here, working that draft together. I'd imagine they're going to get pretty close by the time they get into Canada Corner. Yeah, already gaining almost 0.3 of a second there. I have a feeling they'll pull back in the race leader by the start-finish line as David Bauer has a little bit of a surprise off track, pushing a little bit too wide. Bazinski leads another lap here at Road America. Hilly in second. Bauer still holding on to third. That is quite a few drivers we've had up in the podium so far this season, and they've pulled just about a 7-second advantage from 6th place back. But Soto and Lynn have linked up here. Let's see if we can get a camera angle. There we go. They've linked up on the start-finish line stretch. Gained a little bit of ground over Moreno, Mowat, and Goff. But with a 2-car draft pack, do they have any chance to whittle away at that 7.3 second gap the leaders have? They're going to be really hoping that those top 5 get stretched out just a little bit here. As David Bauer looks set to take a lunge up to the inside line. He's going to make it 3rd to 1st. Can he hold on to it here? What a big sin from David Bauer. And he's going to guard that inside line against Bazinski. Bazinski is not wanting to lose that top spot. Hilly looking to see who he's going to draft with. Hilly tucks in behind Bazinski there. Bauer back to 2nd. Hilly not able to gain the second place either, trying to follow that number 91 of Budzinski. And Christopher Murray, Bryce Salmon just kind of watching this slugfest start to unfold. Not even to the halfway mark, and we're seeing drivers getting a little bit racy out here. Budzinski holding on to it. Does anybody push too wide? No, looks like everybody holds on to it. Now Soto and Lynn are slowly closing up here. Have it within about 6 seconds. They're gaining a fair amount of time on the tighter sections as we watch David Bauer take another lunge for the lead. Budzinski able to check up a little bit, keep it on track here. Bauer wants the credit for a lap lead, wants the bragging rights. And you know what's got to sting a little bit for the other drivers? Getting passed by that beautiful Barbie back number 7 machine. Bauer, for the first time tonight, is going to lead our field up to start and finish line. Now, we had another crash report. We'll check that out in a second once the lead pack gets through turn 1. Because Budzinski's going to take a look to the inside line. I had a feeling he would, but Bauer is going to get credit for the lap led here. Hilly goes the inside line as well. Oh, Bauer kicking up some dirt. Car's a little unsettled. Hilly thought he had an opportunity, not quite able to go for it. And Bauer will hold on to seconds. We're going to see what happened to Todd Golubuski. Had some sort of incident on lap 6. Looks like it's going to be down the hill that resulted in a tow for the 006. Just loses the back end, and it's going to lawn dart it against the concrete barrier before he says, I've had enough. Up front again, David Bauer. Still battling for the lead side by side with Budzinski. And right behind them, that's Salmon and Murray side by side briefly for 4th. So drivers starting to measure each other up a little bit, and we're battling for the lead, and they've got to be careful. That is going to allow Soto and Lynn an opportunity to gain ground if they keep working together here. They've got 13 minutes for Soto and Lynn. Oh, and a big off track there for Bauer. Hilly moves up into 2nd. Salmon now into 3rd. And Budzinski has pulled a 2nd over the rest of the field here. This is exactly what Soto, Lynn, Moreno, Mowat are hoping for as they stay the course, single file, trying to work that draft together. And that is exactly what 2nd through 5th is doing as well, tracking down Budzinski in the number 91 machine. Tires screaming in protest in these Spec Miatas. Drivers tonight in sim are on the exact same equipment. The cars are set up the same, the fuel the exact same. It all comes between that connection between the seat and the pedals, the driver. And can really lend itself to some fantastic racing. Budzinski charges up the hill here at Road America. He's got 9/10 over 2nd place back. We're still keeping an eye out on that developing story. Soto and Lynn, 6th and 7th, about 4.4 seconds back from the lead pack. 12 minutes left to go here, Road America. Budzinski's going to have a whole fistful of lap lead vouchers here at the Wisconsin track. But still, I think anybody inside the top 5 very much has a great chance of picking up something here with how intense the draft battles have been, especially the battles of the brakes under the long sections of race course as well. Looks like Hilly with Bauer, Salmon, and Murray in tow closing the gap. But who's that in the background you see? It's Russell, Soto, Lynn, Moreno. Bauer and Salmon side by side. Salmon making the pass clean as Bauer fighting with the car once more. Oh, they're really leaning on each other right there, and that is going to collect Bauer and Murray as well. A heavily damaged front end number 29 machine. So this is going to be a 3-car breakaway. Budzinski, Hilly, and Salmon. Both Bauer and Murray are going to have some damage from that one, I think. And even maybe more important, Christopher Murray, who had a good chance here tonight, has well and lost the lead pack, the top 3 drivers. And really the top 3 is pretty separated so far. Still, we have 21 of our 22 entries out on track. Lynn and Soto really working the bump draft here. I'm surprised to see such fast drivers towards the back. Now, Soto had that big incident. Lynn, I don't think, turned any laps until the race. I didn't see him out on track in practice. I know for certain he didn't turn a qualifying lap. And I'm trying to look. It looked like the back right of Soto's bodywork was a little beat up. There's Christopher Murray. He's going to have some front end damage. Might be a little bit slower having to push dirty air. I've been asked for a replay. I think that was for the David Bauer incident, maybe? I'm going to get one more angle queued up for the fans at home. So that was the 877 of Bryce Salmon with a little bit of contact between himself and David Bauer. And then poor Christopher Murray, nowhere to go, just absolutely T-bones him there. Murray still going to battle, though, with Soto and Lynn. Soto and Lynn want to get around that number 29 machine as quickly as possible. A little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a shimmy. Now David Moreno is going to join the party, the number 51 machine up the hill. But they have lost a lot of time. They are now 5.5 seconds back from the top 3, having to battle amongst themselves. So with less than 8 minutes left to go here today at Road America, the main event, the DRSCCA Virtual Spec Miata Series. It is Budzinski, Hilly, Salmon, 1, 2, 3, with a 5.4 second margin over the rest of the field. Everybody outside of a podium here is going to have to hope that there's some sort of bobble or these drivers really start going at it, as there's just about 7 minutes left to go. But these are real-world driving professionals as well, ladies and gentlemen. They have racecraft down to a science. So I think they know with how big of a gap they are, they do not want to put themselves in danger of having somebody 4th place back interrupting their battle for the podium or possibly the race win here. I'm predicting a little bit more single file from these drivers. Hilly and Budzinski pushing themselves into turn 1. Bryce Salmon seems to be content hanging back by a few car lengths watching that unfold. And your top 3, that now pulled a 6.5 second gap over the rest of the field. So your top 3 absolutely cruising right now. We have some more good battles out on track. Andrew Gross, Corey Gordonier, Erickson Alano. They're running 13th, 14th, and 15th. Nose to tail here at Road America. You've also got Ryan Goff and David Bauer linked up running 9th and 10th. Bauer wants to hold on to that top 10 spot because there's Michael Schmidt, the 129 machine, right behind. Oh, a little bit offline there for Ryan Goff. Bauer and Schmidt follow suit. That's going to allow Bauer to fight back up into 9th place. He was very much a top 5 driver here before things went south. And look at the bodywork damage on the front right of that Barbie machine. Really, that car has had a rough day here at Road America. But Bauer has a lot of raw talent. Elliot Budzinski still leading with 0.4 of a second over Hilly and Salmon. I think second and third are going to try and set themselves up for a last lap pass here. And I would not be surprised to see them wait until the start-finish line. The old proverbial saying, on a draft-heavy track, you do not want to be leading on the white flag lap. Let's see. Budzinski, though, every time he's gotten past, he immediately fires back up towards the front. And I'm trying to get an eye. It looked like maybe a little bit of nose damage for Justin Hilly as well on his Spec Miata, that 48. Don't think so. I think that's just the livery of Hilly as he battles for the race lead. There's contact, and they're going to pile it up here in the start-finish line. Justin Hilly hard in the wall after contact with Elliot Budzinski. Oh, there is going to be word shared for this one, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get the replay queued up. What happened here? What? Did Hilly have a hardware malfunction? He cut left there. Was there possible netcode? One more time. So watch the wheel of Hilly here. It seemed like netcode, perhaps. We're going to get our final replay. We're going to get our super lap back chopper cam. Oh my goodness, he got pushed from behind. I'm so glad I grabbed that angle. Bryce Salmon gave a hard shove to Justin Hilly. Way too hard of a shove. Hilly tagged into Budzinski. Budzinski able to hold it together. I originally thought that was Hilly's misfortune mistake, but no. He had no idea as he got hit from behind, and there goes Bryce Salmon. What is happening here at Road America? Budzinski's going to hold on to the lead. Now Lynn is up into a podium position, and he's still 4 seconds behind from second place. Yeah, the fans seeing what I late saw was a hard shove to Hilly, putting him into the side of Budzinski. And unfortunately, completely ending the night for the number 48 machine as he stands there mystified, trying to figure out why and where. So the fans liking the super lap backed blimp camera. So let's go back here. This is going to be the battle for the final podium spot. Lynn, Soto, Moreno, Murray has rejoined the party. Jacob Mowat in the fray. So I believe this is going to be the white flag lap. Bryce Salmon comes down pit road. The 877 might have a drive-through here for the incident on the start-finish line stretch. Or he could be parked at black flag. We don't know, but now Lynn and Soto, second and third. That's going to put Moreno, Murray, Mowat looking on the outside end of a podium. David Bowers down pit road, the number 7. The white flag is out here at Road America. This is the battle for second. Lynn and Moreno side by side. Soto has fallen back to fourth here. This, I think, is well and truly the wildest DRSCCA Spec Miata race we have called thus far. Lynn up into second, Soto back into third. Moreno has showed a lot of aggressiveness. Elliot Budzinski, your race leader. basically on a victory lap. He's 8 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Does anybody try anything gutsy here? Soto goes very far outside, makes it a 3-wide situation. Didn't know Moreno was there. Moreno and Soto are going to be out of this one. And I think Jacob Mowat might have gotten a piece of the action as well. Well, you asked for the camera angle. We're going to give you the camera angle, the super lap back chopper cam. And it was another case of bump drafting gone wrong. Soto got a shove there from David Moreno. Moreno, I think, was trying to get checked up. And Soto didn't have the car settles he turns in. So that is gifted Lynn the second place spot. Still 8.6 seconds back from your race leader. Christopher Murray, the right place, the right time, despite the damage on the nose. The Waterford Hills back number 29 machine sit in third. There's Jacob Mowat in fourth, but he's 3.5 seconds back. My goodness, what a night here. Get out your sock and boppers here at Road America. There's Soto making his way around Moreno, taking back over the 5th place spot. You've also got Ryan Goff, Michael Schmidt side by side for 7th. Goff working the outside line there nice and clean. But put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Elliot Budzinski is going to pick up the win here at Road America. Other battles out on track. Gross and Alano battling for that final 10th place spot. You've also got Stephen Kahn just made a move against Tom Salmon on the final lap. And that's going to be a 3-car battle for 13th here. This could be quite an interesting showdown as they're bumping and grinding. The 906 and Salmon make contact. That's Kahn and Salmon. Corey Gordon here trying to make his way around, but they're still crashing. There goes Kahn off track in the final corner. Eric Christensen hard on the binders to avoid him there. What a wild night here at Road America. Still battles going on. William Lamb, David Grzinski. Well done to Grzinski. He's up 5 spots in the number 75 machine. It's going to be a drag race to the start-finish line for 17th. Who's it going to be? It looks like it's going to be David Grzinski by 0.04 of a second. Man, I got to tell you, as a racer myself, that is the kind of night you want when you're out there putting on a great show for the fans and having a fantastic race all the way around. I'm going to need some water up here in the booth. What a night. So we're waiting on our top 3 drivers to join us here in Victory Lane here at Road America. We're on first call for Elliot Budzinski, Lynn, and Murray. As I believe there is some discussion amongst the drivers of what we just witnessed here tonight. One of the wildest races I've called in quite a long time. So still waiting on our top 3 drivers to get up here to Victory Lane. We've got Chris Murray. Now I have a fan asking where they should join you. If you're talking about where to go next week, that's going to be Super Lap on a Tuesday night. Guys, give me 1 second up here in the booth. So it looks like we got all of our drivers here. We're going to start things off with for Chris Murray, the number 29. Chris, walk us through a roller coaster of a night here at Road America.
Hey, yeah, I'm stunned, honestly. I mean, I came into this race, I qualified pretty well, and I figured, if I just hang on to the pack, I have to be honest with myself. I don't have, the pace of, some of those front guys. I'm like, I can stay in their pack. This place is easy to draft, and I'm not going to make a move on anybody. And I avoided a couple pretty big hits and at the end there, and yeah, I'm stunned.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, in such a draft-heavy track, you had the race pretty much taken away from you, and then next thing you know, you're back up here in third.
Yeah, I thought my podium shot was over when Bauer spun in front of me and I lost the lead pack, and then Soto's kind of secondary pack just ran me over. I had a little bit of front end damage. I thought that was the end.
I mean, I did too. I mean, there are so many of you guys are like, oh man, so-and-so, Christopher Murray out of the race. He's got hard impact. He's way behind. And next thing you know, everybody's crashing.
Yeah. I gotta give a shout out to David Moreno. I don't know exactly what happened there, but him and Soto got tangled up and even took out the guy behind us too. And I was just by myself. Victory lap.
Yeah, clean track. You got to like it and take them where you can. So, Chris, super cool to have you back up here in the top three. Or I think this is the first time this season. Is that correct?
Yeah. This is my first time. I had a couple close calls early on, but yeah, first time.
Well, you've also been nominated for a future intermission interview, so we'll get that on the books as well. But, Chris, before I let you go and unwind from a wild night here in Wisconsin, who you want to give a shout to that helps make it happen?
I mean, I got to give the shout out to you guys for putting this on, and Soto and Delatorre and all the guys who make this happen. It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome, Chris. Super cool to have you up here the first time. I'm sure we'll see you more, and great job on that third place finish.
Thank you.
That was Chris Murray bringing it home in third place. But up next, we've got our old-time dinner time Lynn. Welcome back to the top three, the top two here tonight.
Yeah, but back in my usual spot.
Yeah, no doubt. But so, Lynn, I know the nights are sometimes busy for you. Were you able to run any laps before today's race?
How do I put it? I mean, I plan to join a qualifying start, but my computer has some issues, and I had to restart it. It took a very long time. But I mean, I raced this car at this track I don't know, 1,000 times in iRacing, so I'm really familiar with it. Warm up was my first lap, and took my 3 laps to find the braking points, and then I'll just grid up and see where everyone else breaks.
Well, Len, it was super cool to have you, charging through the field up 19 spots, and it seemed like the seas kind of parted for you in the number 30. You were charging forward, linked up with Soto, but next thing you know, there's top 5 guys going off track everywhere.
Yeah, I thought probably me and Russell will just finish, I think it was 6th and 7th, but we just keep getting position somehow. There was a while that I think bump drafting, it works for a bit, then it kind of stopped working because I think once the top 3, there's only 3 cars left, their pace picked up a lot.
Well, Lynn, you guys put on a great show. That was a ton of fun to watch from my point of view. I hope it was half as much fun to drive, and you're the hard charger tonight as well, finishing up in second. But before I let you go, who do you want to give a shout to that helped make this podium possible for you?
Thank for DRSCCA organizing this race. If they don't organize this, there's obviously no way I can finish second. And thank you for broadcasting it.
Oh, always my pleasure, Len. Congratulations, and I'm sure I'll see you up here more throughout the season.
Yeah, and see you next time.
Yes, sir. That was Lynn bringing it home in second. Gotta love that guy. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Elliot Budzinski. Elliot, in a race full of carnage, heartbreak, and bad luck, didn't have any of it.
Yeah, I'm honestly a bit confused by that. It seemed like they just kept dropping like flies. I don't know. I think I defended once that race on lap 1, and then just kind of thought, let's see what happens here. And one by one, people just kept dropping off, and I don't know. Somehow, and then I got a bit lucky there.
Yeah, I mean, your race was almost ended on the start-finish line. Looked like Hilly got a bump draft that wasn't quite squared up, and next thing, you and that 91 machine are getting sideswiped. What were you thinking when that happened? Did you think he just door-checked you, or did you know he was getting a good shove that wasn't quite right?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching my mirrors, so I could see. Who was it?
I think it was Salmon, maybe?
Yeah, I could see him catching up, and I kind of thought he would give a bump and try and push those two ahead into turn 1. So I was kind of expecting that. What I wasn't expecting was to get sideswiped. I don't think it was to either of their faults, but just a bit unlucky for Justin. And then just carried on from there. I don't know. It didn't really affect me much, apart from putting me in the grass for a second there.
Yeah, I mean, that was a white knuckle moment. I was freaking out in the broadcast booth. I thought you and Hilly's nights were completely done at that point. But, I mean, we had seen it from there till the end of the race. So many top guys are on the outside, the top 5, the top 10 looking in after this one.
Yeah, it was for sure a bit of luck there for me, and just kind of keeping out of any bit of carnage. But yeah, it was a bit confusing seeing it happen. Obviously I'm not going to complain, it made my job a bit easier, but for sure a bit confusing and unfortunate for some of the others.
Yeah, it's probably the broadcast team's fault. We told Scott Shakin during his intermission interview that he has a nice, boring, uneventful night. And then now we see what happened. But Elliot, you came in here tonight, qualified in the top spot. Did you have a strategy to try and keep the drivers at bay with how draft dependent it is here at Road America?
I mean, not really. I think the thing with Road America is if you're not more than a second out in the lead, then the next 2 corners you're going to be caught. So I was I didn't really try to defend much. As long as I knew, as long as I was in the top 3, top 5, then there was going to be a good shot for the win at the end. So I guess played it a bit safe and got lucky with it.
Hey, take it how you can, Elliot. Super cool to have you back up here in that 91 machine. And now, my friend, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps put you in the top spot?
Yeah, just thanks to everyone who's watching along. I know I have some family and friends watching for an good evening of racing. So yeah, you guys for putting it on, and just thanks for everyone who's watching.
Oh, absolute pleasure, Elliot. Always a good time, man, and I'm sure we'll have you up here a bunch throughout Tuesday and Thursday series for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that was Elliot Budzinski joining us in the top spot. He was accompanied by Lynn in second place and Murray rounding out the top 3. On behalf of the DRSCCA.org, superlap.world, waterfordhills.com, and michiganturnmarshals.org, my name has been James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for spending your Thursday night with us, and I'll see you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.